Último día en BMX y estamos con una persona súper importante que teníamos muchas ganas de conocerla, Nefarious Larrat. Ella es la hija de Shannon y Rachel Larrat, fundadores de BME. Para nosotros es un gustazo, un honor aparte poder conversar con ella sobre qué está pasando en BME.
BMEZINE.com para muchos significó un antes y un después en su vida. BME fue un sitio web pionero que dio acogida a toda una comunidad que crecía en secreto. La modificación corporal tuvo por primera vez un medio para llegar a todo el mundo, entregando información de calidad, cultura, pero sobre todo para ayudarte a comprender que no estabas solo en esta aventura, que existía gente con inquietudes similares y que por primera vez podíamos compartir con personas de otras latitudes, dando forma a una comunidad que 30 años después aún mantiene ese fuego vivo.
Thank you for being here, for sharing your time with us. And first of all, we have so many questions for you, but how is for you grew up in this environment and now you're leading this project?
I think it feels very natural because it's just something I've been surrounded with since I was a little kid, since I was born, really. It feels, well, so the past couple of years I haven't been surrounded by the community very much. In the last couple of months I have been much more, but coming back it feels so natural. It feels like a second home almost. And I think that's been something that's also been missing for the past couple of years of my life. So growing up, it's just everywhere I went, it was always with my parents because I was a kid, obviously. And so everyone I was with was always modified. So it's so normal.
It seems familiar for you, it's natural, as you say. Since 2023, you're being rebuilding this project of BME. How's been that experience for you?
It's been very difficult because obviously, like as a kid, I was raised around it. So BME's always been a part of my life, but I've never been a part of BME because I was a kid. It's just, so I have to learn I knew what the community was like, but I have to learn about the website itself because I want to make the new BME in the image of the old BME. It's not going to be the same thing. It'll be a different version. It'll be something that matches the times, something that has evolved with the times. It's been very hard though because it was a website that existed since 1994. It's not a small amount of things to learn about. But I've got a really amazing team that's been helping me, as well as everyone from the community seems very excited that it's coming back. So with that, everyone's been very helpful and very, very generous with their knowledge. Everyone wants to share what they know and share their experiences, because I think also the nostalgia makes them happy to talk about.
You had the chance to recover all the information from BME?
So unfortunately, there was a massive data loss when my mom passed away. It's just when somebody passes away, it's the transferring of all of their assets is very difficult, and we did not manage to save the servers where all of the data was held, and because not all of it, but most of its content was behind a paywall, so you can't use the Wayback Machine for it. It's lost, which is unfortunate, but that also means that we don't have to stick to we are not confined to the history. We can create something new. So it's a blessing and a curse.
Following the same line, what, in your opinion, has been the most difficult aspect to rebuild this project?
So I think that the most difficult challenge we're facing is, me personally, I want everything to be perfect because this is my parents' legacy. It's a big deal. I don't want to let them down in any way. I know that they would be proud of me for no matter what I do, but I want to do them justice. So there's a level of perfection that I want to maintain, and that nobody's perfect. BME has never been perfect. So holding myself to that standard actually sets us back, I think, quite a lot. And I'm not the only one. Everyone on the team wants us to do the best we can. Well, we were building out the website for all of 2023 and part of 2024. we've scrapped the website probably a couple different times just because it wasn't what we wanted it to be. And it's still, we realized that we can't be perfect, so we need to just start putting stuff out. We'll get closer to what we want as if we're actively working on new things every day. So what BME was in, let's say, 2005, BME was huge because it had been around for 11 years and it was one of a kind. And we're starting off, we know what BME was back, not necessarily in 2005, but we know what BME's capabilities were, what BME has achieved, and we want to be already on that scale, on that level. But there was 10 years of build up from scratch to that, and we're not completely building from scratch, but we're building the website and everything else from scratch, and we can't expect to be 10 years in the future already, although we do want to.
Okay, so how you feel to know now, coming to Germany, going everywhere, most probably you're traveling a lot in the next months. How you feel to know how many people were touched in a so huge and important way in their lives because the work of Shannon and Rachel?
I was shocked by how many people showed up to the class. I asked them, I said, how many of you have been on BME before? The entire class raised their hand. Mm-hmm. I think that it's just, I have been told for my entire life that BME was this huge inspirational thing, but I think that I haven't seen it firsthand because when I was old enough to understand everything, it wasn't really around in the same way. So coming back and meeting everyone and hearing their stories, we actually have a section on our website now where we interview people that have the BME tattoos on them. And we asked them like what has happened in their life, and especially at this convention, we've talked to a couple people, and they're telling us like their lives were completely changed by BME, and it's crazy to think not me, but like BME had that effect on people.
I am a BME. Many of my friends until now that I met at that time, 20 years ago, I met them on BME. The first time that I came to Germany was because of that. I got my user and everything. My only reason to get to internet was BME at that time. I'm 44 years old now, you know? And I really like that time because I feel that we were a community, a very close community, innocent community, naive at the same time, you know? But we were never expecting going mainstream like this now. And this is a cliche now, but we came from a community to an industry. How do you see that now?
The fact that something like this can just happen in such a big city and be so public, and maybe not public, that's the wrong word, but just be so accessible for so many people to come to, and like walking up and down the street, I'm not seeing anybody looking twice. It's
normal.
Yeah, exactly. There's so much acceptance that wasn't around in the day. I think it's a huge positive too, because there's just so much more freedom.
Are you agreed to think about most of this visibility we have now, this acceptance, is because your parents' work?
So privately, I do think my parents changed the entire world.
Yeah.
but then if you think about it, there are so many different people that went into all of this. Like, yes, my mom and dad played their part, but there's so many people in the world that really, like,
maybe they connect them, you know? And
absolutely.
From there we start a community, you know?
Yeah, I mean, but I feel like my parents were like a cog in a gigantic machine. It's like they were an essential piece, but there were so many different pieces that were...
They put all the pieces together, maybe make it work as an engine, you know? I think that's huge, you know? So what's your ambition for BME in the future?
That's so hard because we're going one step at a time. I like to think way too far ahead, so I constantly am having ideas of things that aren't even possible for a couple years. And something I'm working on personally is really like trying to look less at the big picture and look at every step that we need to take along the way to get there. I would love for BME to be that community again, to have those places where people can feel safe. But what's nice is there are already a lot of safe spaces, like the place we're at right now. I think it's amazing. I think my personal, like one of my favorite things about BME, even in the first year of us being back, is that we're able to throw these little parties. There's not that many people coming, but it's a sense of community, and it's not necessarily like education based. It's just people coming together and having a good time.
So what would be your suggestion for people getting in this moment to body art? You're gonna see a lot of young people in here.
I think they have to find out what they are attracted to in specific. And I think that just do a lot of research, and then, I mean, I'm not a professional, so it's very hard for me to talk on specific subjects, but I think find somebody you respect in the industry that you are interested in, or like the specific parts you're interested in, and then just start following their work and see where it takes you.
Thank you for your time, and
You as well, I appreciate
keep going with your work. You have all your support from the community, from the OGs, from the new guys, so anything you need, Nefarious, we are here for you, okay?
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming.
I was walking by the sea, the lonely wind is calling me, but there's no one by my side. I'm so lonely I could die. Memories of POP, the Friday dance at Helmonte.
What is Body Modification, your website? What has it done for you as far as when you're singing?
Well, at this point, there's very, very little difference between my life and the life of the site. It's really, honestly, everything that I am as a person, I try and pour into that site. And the members of the site, I think, are doing the same, and sort of we're feeding back into each other. So it's really.
Do you get personal contact with
Oh
members?
yeah, all the time. My entire wall of my office is covered in postcards from all over the world. That's what I use for wallpaper.
All over the world.
Yeah, all over the world, every country. We got members in like little places like Fiji, all over Russia, everywhere.
I want to share your site with everyone else. So again, tell us your website.
BMEZINE.com. That's BMEZINE.com.
Gleaming in your eyes, memories of POP, the Friday dance at El Monte, the surfer stomp at the rendezvous.